where exactly the shares are being held of yours with the repository. So just as we move forward, I request once again, we have our chat box. So please do mention your questions during the presentation. In case if you all have any questions during the presentation, I will request, please do mention your questions in the chat box as well. At the end of the presentation, we will take each and every question that you have mentioned. So please do not worry about that. Also, there is a feedback link given in the chat box. So any projects who you all have any topic in mind that you would like NSDL to take in near future, please do mention that topics and we will be happy to take that as well. So just to give a brief background as to what is the Indian capital market looks like, the Indian securities market. As you know, all the market capital regulator, the Securities and Exchange Board of India, regulates the capital markets in India. And surrounded by there are various business partners, the intermediaries, wherein you deal with day in and day out, meaning you buy and sell shares in stock exchange. So, for example, in stock exchanges, we have NSE, BSE, MSE, there is a commodity exchange, MCX. So, these are some of the commodities and derivative exchanges as well. So, in case if you are trading any equity shares or in derivatives, you will be dealing with the stock exchanges. That means at the stock exchanges is a place wherein you buy and sell shares, right? And depository is a place wherein you hold your securities. So ultimately, in case if you are buying and selling shares, in the Dmat form, the securities are being held with the depository. Now, who are the two depositories in India? There is NSDL and CDS. And these are the two depositories in India. And whenever you buy and sell shares at the stock exchange, at the end, whenever it's being held in the Dmat form, it's being held in a depository. Now, deposit, as I told you, whenever you are in a banking environment, what happens is the money is being held with a bank. So, bank is holding your money, right? At the end of the day, in a similar way, when shares are being held in a Dmat environment, in a Dmat form, they are being held with a depository. That means the shares are being held with a NSDL or CDSL. Now, even if you open an account with any of the depository participants, depository participants are the agents of NSDL. As you know, the other intermediaries are stock brokers, register and transfer agents, mutual funds, investment advisors. We have even the depository participants who will be open a Dmat account, right? So, in case if you have opened a Dmat account, say with IDI Capital or say example with any of the other depository participants, say Share Khan or any example, say Ventura Securities. So these are all the depository participants. NSDL, at NSDL we have around 278 depository participants who are being associated, who have been tied up with NSDL to provide services to its investors. So at the end, even if you have opened a Dmat account with a depository participant, at the end of the day, your securities are being held with that depository. So you should know the difference. Why I am taking this as you should know the difference. At the end of the day, your securities are being held not with a depository participant, but without depository. Now, moving forward, if I'm an investor, I'm not starting and investing in the capital markets, but I'm very interested in dealing or buying equity shares, or even if I want to buy mutual fund units. Okay, how can I do that? You need to have 3 accounts. So, bank account, which most of them normally have. So, bank account is mandatory. Trading or broking account can be opened with the stock broker, and a Dmat account can be opened with a depository participant. So these are the 3 accounts that are required for opening and dealing in securities. So that means tomorrow if I want to buy shares of Infosys on a stock exchange, okay, what do I do? First I have to open these 3 accounts: bank account, Dmat account, depository participant service center, more than 30,000 plus service centers which are spread across India. Custody value is the value of securities that you are holding. For example, if 10 investors are holding shares worth 10 lakh rupees, the custody value of 10 lakh rupees is known as the custody value. So the value of money that will be held is known as the custody value. So as you can see, the custody value has increased over a period of time. In December 2010, it was 67 lakh crore, whereas it has been increased to more than 250 lakh crore now in May. So the custody value overall has kept on increasing. As you can see, the bank deposits and the custody value, this is the difference between the bank deposits and the custody value. As I told you, NSDL's custody value was 244 lakh crore as on March 31st, 2021. And the bank deposits, the custody value in the banks was 153 lakh crore. As you can see the difference, the custody value is more than even the bank deposits in India. That means more and more investors are now participating into the retail capital markets. The difference is the reason being, one of the reasons being the interest, the selling rate interest is kept on decreasing over a period of time. Even the equity rates are decreasing. But if you see, if you invest in mutual funds or equity shares, the rates are normally either the same or increasing. As you can see, the difference between the GDP and the NSDL custody value, the GDP of market price is 203 lakh crore, whereas the NSDL's custody value is around 163 lakh crore. So this is almost nearby, in terms of the custody value. Now this is the overall diagram of how the capital market actually looks like. As you can see, NSDL is surrounded by all its business partners. Okay, we have the issuer company of the register and transfer agents. We have on the right hand side, we have the NSDL's Clearing Corporation, NCCL, and the BSE's Clearing Corporation, Indian Clearing Corporation Limited. On the below, we have depository participant 1 and depository participant 2. Now, as you can see, both the depository participants are not directly linked with each other. They are linked with NSDL central system and surrounded by other business partners. So, as you can see, whenever a buyer buys shares and the seller sells shares, both are connected with the depository participant. Once they deal in securities, all the records are being held with the NSDL central system. I can see that some of them are actually, mentioning that maybe it's too fast. Fine, I'll do that. So on the other side, you can see we have serial cell with the other depository. So there are inter-depository transfer also taking place. So this also can be done if you have two accounts. Maybe one buyer is having an account with NSDL and there is a seller account opening an account with serial cell. Even that inter-depository transfer is also taking place. Now we want some of the services offered by deposit departments. So once you open a Dmat account, what are the other services that Dmat account? You can change your bank account details. Okay. So what you can do is once you can, in case tomorrow you shift to a new address, the account details or the address details also can be changed. You have to inform the depositing participant. So if you are holding shares of say 10 different companies, you may not go to each and every different company to inform about your new address or new bank details. You just have to inform the deposit participant, and that will actually be informed to all the companies. We have Dmat and Dmat securities. In case if you want to Dmat your securities, even that is possible. Even conversion and redemption of mutual funds, yes, it's possible. So that also is possible. The account freeze also can be done. So you can freeze your account as well. These are some of the services which are not explained much in brief, but if you are, there are internet-based facilities. So during this pandemic, what you can do is you can make use of this NSDL's internet-based facilities freely, wherein you can submit your instructions online, sitting at home. Ideas is wherein you can view your transaction statements online. We have NSDL's mobile app as well, and we have NSDL's security facility. So this also can be made use of. These are some of the how you can become a prudent investor. So as there are saying that you need not change, you should change your password if you are doing an online transactions frequently. You should not share your OTP with anyone. So these are some of the precautions that you need to take in case you do not want to misuse your Dmat account. As I told main topic is on how to buy and sell shares in stock exchange. So now I would request, before just going to, before I request you, Mr. to take in, just a small request. This is a monthly newsletter of NSDL's Kaleidoscope. So this is a newsletter wherein we publish it and send it to our investors free of cost. So every month we choose a topic, and it's it's a very informative newsletter. You can subscribe it on our website as well. These are some of the grievance requests. You can lodge your complaint with SEBI. exports. You can also we have toll-free numbers. Online submission of grievance is possible on NSDL website in case you have any grievances against your DP. You can do that as well. I would now request Mr. Shiv Mishra. I will stop my presentation and I request Mr. Shiv Mishra to take it forward. Sir, Mr.
Yeah, thank you, Madeline. I hope I'm audible to all of you.
Yes, sir, you're audible.
I could see some messages in the chat box. So, am I audible to all? Voice is clear?
Yeah, your voice is clear.
Okay.
Can I just confirm that as
well? Sorry, come again?
I would just request the persons to please confirm if Shiv sir's voice is audible. Yes, some of the persons has mentioned yes. Okay.
Okay, so I'll share the presentation.
Yeah.
And Callan, if you can mute yourself, please, because there's a bit of. Yeah, thank you. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Shiv. I represent IDBI Capital. I take care of retail broking in IDBI Capital. Before we start and discuss more on this topic, how to buy and sell shares in the stock exchange, I just want to reiterate with each of us that I'm sure we all are taking good care of ourselves, our families. We are not getting out of our houses. We are maintaining safe distance, using mask and keeping ourselves sanitized, in the sense that we have to sanitize. And the more we take care of ourselves, our health, the sooner we would be able to see the normal days, what we used to live about 1.5 years back. So the onus is on us, all of us, to ensure that we take good care of ourselves. And with that note, I'll earnestly urge each of you to be absolutely careful on that front. Now, before I get more into this, there would be two things which I would like to share, while we begin. One, as I just said, that we need to take care of ourselves, our health. The same way, we take a lot of pain to earn money, whatever money we earn. And we need to be very careful, on the way we spend our money, because money is earned, it's difficult to earn money, and, we have to be very careful, very mindful on what are the stocks which we buy, what are the mechanism in which we buy, with what are the logics which we follow, what are the methods which we apply in making that decision before we go ahead and buy or sell the stock. Okay, so we'll begin now. So the presentation flow would be, there is something called pre-trade preparation. So pre-trade is like, 15 minutes before the market opens. Typically, I'm sure you all are aware that market opens at 9:15. But for 15 minutes before, 9:15 mark, that is pre-trade preparation. So, we'll discuss on that. Then we'll discuss how to place orders. After placing orders, what are the checks, what are the, things which we need to be very careful and we need to evaluate, we need to be looking at. And the margin payment, what is that, and how to, see how to be vigilant on that front. Yeah. So this is something which I started with, that if we do not apply ourselves, if we do not keep logics to the kind of decision which we make while investing, it would be like, I don't know driving, but I'm driving a vehicle, or maybe I'm driving blindfolded. Since I always, in all my webinars to all the clients, wherever I go, I travel. I used to travel, and now whenever I interact, we always say that, since it is our money, uh, we have to be careful with the way we decide on, selecting on a certain stock, or what are the factors, which are the logics, which are the methods which we should be following. So there could be n number of logics, like what are the past performances. It's like you're putting money into a business, and hence you need to be sure that that business would thrive, so that you, as an owner of that business, you'd be ending up making the money, rather than losing out on money, right? So there are few basic things, that what does the company do, you know how how the balance sheet of the company doing, whether the business which you are investing or going to invest, whether that business is thriving, are they making enough of revenues, are they is there a trend in revenue being increasing, whether they are giving dividends to their shareholders, whether what are the level of debts, whether they are able to pay back on debts timely, and more importantly, but not the last thing, that whether how good or bad they are stacked up with their competition. So these are the few basic things which we should look at. There would be further things also, which I'll surely touch upon, and will try to make you aware. Now, while we discuss on a lot of things, what I have seen, I'll be very honest. I've spent around 22 years in retail broking industry, in equities market in the country. I would have met more than 20 lakh of clients in person, and what I've seen is that while making that decision, people just generally, they would get some SMS or something, and they would feel that, oh man, this is it, this is the company where I need to invest money, and I have done a great job. I have invested money. Some friend of mine has told me ki, bhai, I have taken, you also take it. Maine liya, tu bhi le le. It does not work that way. Always, we all have to bear in mind that it is my money. It is like, you are going to marry your daughter. So before getting the marriage fixed, you try to find out everything about the guy. Where does he work? What are his future plans? Family background? Blah blah blah. Everything you find out, and your money is not less important. I mean, money probably is one of the most important thing, investments, because you are investing your money, and you have to be careful the way it fares. So there would be NSC and BSC portals where you can go search about any company, the company where you are investing. You have to go to their portal, see their balance sheets and everything. What is the industry saying about those companies? What are the research team of different broking houses saying about their that particular company? What is the social media? Because social media these days, unlike 25 years back, these days everything, you do something and it's there on the media, newspapers, magazine, everything you have to scan so that you get the correct perspective, and you have to read a lot of data. See, the balance sheet is one aspect which nobody can, fudgingly they cannot put on their portals, or they cannot be reporting on the exchange, to the exchanges. So we have to be very sure while reading the balance sheet, what are the debts, what are the assets, how are they doing certain things, what is the profit, the trends of profit, whether there is an increasing trend, decreasing trend, and all of that. The fund statement, flow statement, balance sheet for at least a couple of years. What is the volume? Of course, the price of the share, the historical data, what kind of announcement they have been doing in corporate announcement, whether there is a complete lull at the volume levels. What is the price to equity ratio, intrinsic value of the share? What we also have to understand is the business model of the company with respect to the future. And we have to also compare the peer group analysis. So, a few examples I'll give you so that you can understand what exactly I'm talking about. And then I'll come to this slide. I'm sure we all know this company called Nokia. During the time when I came to this market about in 98, 99, it was the phone which everybody had. Nokia and some other company also, Ericsson and all. But Nokia, I'm taking their name because by 2003-4 sometime, Samsung also started coming with their mobile phone. And typically, if you have seen that generation, Nokia phones were small, with a good form factor. The Samsung phones were something new, bigger screens, all touch, and it was changing the market. Few years from then, since Nokia could not evolve, now they do not exist almost, right? So similarly, I can give you another example like BlackBerry mobile phone. There was a time, if you remember, about 10 years back also, I remember, I always had a BlackBerry. So because of the mail, people used to use that phone because, the email thing was the hallmark of that phone. And that point in time, Apple came. They changed the game with the same thing, and gradually BlackBerry, because they could not evolve their business model, they could not survive, and now they are not there. So those floppy companies or the CD companies, Motherbeer, way back in 95, 2000s, a CD or a DVD was the thing to carry or store a data. And the size of a CD would have been, some MB, and or maybe a DVD would be a few GB. And that time it was, a lot of space. I remember while studying during my MBA days or even my graduation time, there was something called floppy. You could store only few KBs on all that, but now they do not exist because those companies could not foresee, could not evolve. And why I'm taking all these names, because while I put my money in some company, I need to be very sure that while in the decision making process, I need to understand what could be the potential threat to this company. I'll give you one more example which suddenly comes to my mind. If you travel from any city to a bit on the countryside, you would have seen a lot of dhaba and hotels across the country. Now suddenly something happened, and there was a ruling of Supreme Court that within some 1 kilometer or some 500 meters, some distance, you cannot have bar. And imagine overnight, the entire business structure changed. People would have spent a lot of money to build their hotels, chain of hotels, dhabas and all. And one decision changed the entire thing. So, that way we need to be careful. Now, coming back to this thing that we already discussed, that we need to be careful about the balance sheet. Now, more importantly, who are the promoters? Who are the people who are running the show? How is the shareholding pattern? Earning per share. What is the PE, book value, cash flow? Last few years, how have their sales or profitability or revenues the company has given? Debt, we have already discussed. Dividend paid by the company to its shareholders, we have already discussed. And more importantly, corporate governance. People who are at the top are, if you have seen in last few years, there a lot of corporate governance issue have come up, because people who are at the top, who are at the decision making level, they also need to be clean. So and this is something which, all the data, everything is available in the public domain, and we have to see everything, we have to understand everything, and then only we have to decide that, okay, this is company, this is the region, and this is my conviction to go ahead, with my investment decision. Now, coming back to the topic, that how to place orders. There could be three ways to place an order broadly. One would be offline mode, wherein you have to go to your broker's office. This is something which the best we can avoid now, because of course, either they would be working from home, or we should not be venturing out, of our homes. So other way would be to either uh, they have to call their broker's number, and they have to tell them, the dealer, the relationship manager who would be taking your call, you have to tell them to buy something or sell something at the price decided by you, or maybe the market price, whatever. So or you can use the mobile app or the portal of your broker, through email or something. You can also try to put your order, but out of all the methods, what I would personally suggest you is to have a app on your mobile, uh, or maybe their website, because my rule remains the same. It's my money, I have to be in control, so I need to know at what price, what quantity, all of that. And one thing also, we have to ensure that while calling the broker, if you are talking to them on the phone, you have to check whether the entire conversation, it is on the recorded line. That gives you kind of security, or maybe it would be safeguarding you, because many a times what happens, that you said that you have to buy 1,000 quantity, they would buy 10,000 quantity at times, and it might be an error also. So but if something happens, you are at least protected by this thing, and this is a mandatory thing for a broker to follow, or for a relationship manager to follow, that whatever they discuss with a client, it has to be through a recorded line. One second, please. Now, visiting to broker's office, we have already discussed in detail. That you have to go to their office. You need to have an account with them, of course. Without, if suppose you are a client of IDBI Capital, because this is the company which I represent. Before trading with me, or before investing with me, my company, you need to have an account with IDBI Capital. So that remains the once you have an account, you get a unique code, which is unique to you, and it is it comes with a password. If it's an online account, then and once you get the account opening confirmation, whether it is coming on a mail, or whether you are getting an letter, it comes with all the details, like the mail ID of your broker, where you can communicate, the phone numbers. If they are having branches of your location, they would be sharing all those details. Of course, the relationship manager, the kind of brokerages and the service charges for the trade, everything would be mentioned there. So that is there. That is what you get while you open an account. So while you visit your sub broker's office, important few basic things. Whenever you enter, exit anywhere, you have to there would be a visiting register, so you make an entry there, so that becomes a timestamp. If you are buying a stock, say you want to buy Reliance, you have to know at the time of trade that what was the rate, what the quantity. So all of that we have discussed already. There might be systems wherein before placing the order, you might have to give a code also. That depends on a broker's technology. So that is there, and once you are you have put the trade like in a company like us. What we have done is, while you have punched an order through offline mode, that is through a broker or your relationship manager, but not online. The moment he would click enter, that okay, so you have bought 1000 Reliance at say 2000 rupee per share. So immediately once the order is entered, an SMS would be triggered that Mr. Shiv, who is an RM for your account, he has put this trade in your account. If you have not, if you are not aware about this trade, then please call us on this number. So that kind of thing also a prudent broker would be having, so that you are secured, you are safe in terms of your investment. uh, at end of the day, you would be getting SMS from NSC also. You would be getting your contract note also. So whatever you transactions you have done during the entire day, you would be able to match that, whether you have done it or it is a trade which you are completely not aware, and then you have to take corrective measures. You have to get in touch with your broker. That how could that happen? So this is something which we have already discussed, that if you are calling a centralized dealing setup, like if you are staying in somewhere in Kerala, and your broker does not have office in Kerala, so you have to call on a centralized dealing number, which would be based out of any city for that matter. With a huge setup, so you have to call there, and all those numbers would be all those phone calls would be recorded. You have to give your some details to get yourself identified, because what happens in those setup, that there would be, it's like a call center, so there would be 100, 200, or maybe 1000 agents would be sitting there. It would be a recorded thing. Whatever you say, that okay, buy 1000 Reliance. This is the price right now. Put this price, and they would be able to put it put the trade in the system. Or you can say that you have to trade on the existing rate. So whatever rate that time prevailing, the system would be able to trigger the trade and buy that particular share at the current market price. So the name of the share, of course, quantity, type of the order, whether it is an intraday or delivery, or that kind of thing, you can always share with the dealer. They would be asking you beforehand, and that is how a trade gets executed if you are trying to trade through a centralized call and trade setup. You can, yes, place your order by email also. You have to mandatorily you have to send a mail from your registered email ID. So what is a registered email ID and mobile number? While opening your account, you have to give your mobile number and email ID to your broker, and that becomes your registered email ID and registered mobile number. So there are brokers, suppose in my company, if you call to my call and trade team in IDBI Capital, if you are not calling from your registered number, then you have to then we would be asking you a lot of details, like what is your PAN number, what is your address, what is your Aadhaar number. That way you have to verify yourself. And if you call from your registered number, no questions asked, and you can trade if it is in a call and trade setup. So while sending this order through email, please ensure that you are sending from your registered email ID with complete details, which share, which company, script, what is the price, what is the order type, what is the quantity, all the details, and whether it is an intraday trade, delivery trade, all kind of things you have to mention there, and then you have to send. So the best thing which I would always prefer any client to do is to trade online, because of the control factor. Because as a client, I would know that what is it which I am buying and what I have sold. All the brokers across the country, not only IDBI Capital for that matter, but all the companies have made good portals, good websites, and good apps, so you can log in and you can trade. To trade online, you have to link your Dmat trading and bank account, so you can get in touch with your broker. He would be able to guide you there. And there might be this enabling of online trading, which also would be required. But I think now with most of the brokers, we enable and we take this consent from a client while opening the account only, that whether you want to open have online access. So if you click there at the time of account opening only, you have enabled your online account. If your account is old or you're not enabled it, you can get in touch with your broker, and you can get it activated. So once you are enabled for the online trading, then you have to install the trading app, and you will be given an ID, and you have to generate your own password, which you have to generate, and you can log in using it. Once you use for the first time, you would be having two factors authentication system, which most of the brokers have, and OTP might also come in few of the systems. So these are the measures through which any broker tries to ensure that it is your account, so you only are logging in. So suppose what happens with IDBI Capital, that you are having suppose your mobile number is the number what you have, and you have installed your IDBI Capital's trading account on that mobile only. So what we do, before you install the app, my app would trigger an SMS from your mobile, and if it is not a registered number, then it would not allow you to log in to the app. So then the mechanism is different, that you have to send an SMS which we trigger to your registered number. So if you are suppose you are using your you want to there would be a dual SIM mobile. So the SIM which is registered, so you would be getting an SMS which you have to put. So that way we try to verify. Again, if you want to use the same app on some other mobile, security feature, we would tell you that, okay, this is a new mobile device which you are trying to use, and is this you who is trying to enable another mobile with some other IMEI number. And to confirm, you have to input your OTP which you would receive. All these check and balance, they are there to ensure that the client does not get strict. So most of the responsible broking houses, they have this kind of stringent mechanism through which they try to safeguard their clients. So now, once you are logging to your mobile app or the browser, the moment you put your ID, password, and everything, and the moment you log in, the first thing in most of the systems, most of the apps, you would see that you have to create a market watch. Now, market watch is what? I'll tell you before I come to market watch. Any trading account platform is just a marketplace. So, I mean, the way we go and buy, vegetables in the market. So it is the same thing, same logic works. It is a marketplace. Your market watch is a marketplace. So all the shares which you are interested into, all the companies which you track, you add everything. And then whatever rate prevailing, the volume details and everything, the highs of the day, lows of the day, what was the previous day's closing, bid, ask, whatever volumes, every detail of that particular script would be, there in front of you. And you would have informations there, and you have to, since we always talk about timing the market, what rate I want to buy. You are there, rates are there in front of you, and then there would be some buttons, you have to click on buy, you have to click on sell. So that way it is very easy, very intuitive to use. See, before placing the orders, it is always very prudent for us to see that whether I'm putting into putting the right quantity, right price, just because if you are trying to time, if you have put in large quantity and the margin is not there in your account, the money, margin money through which you can buy buy a certain share, so the order would get rejected and you would not be able to buy. But if you want to do not want to miss the timing thing, you have to ensure that you have enough money in your bank account before you buy. And you have to transfer also your bank from your bank account to your trading account, but all that is done at a click. That does not take time. Previously, when all these API and the UPI, all these things were not there, so you had to give checkbook. So your broker, if you had good relationship, then on the check only they would give you the limits. But all that is, today most of the things it's online. If you are transferring the money, it would be done in seconds and you can do it. So while placing, there would be a lot of things. The stock quote. Once you create a market watch, there you can see a lot of things. They told you previously that the name of the company, what is the symbol. Like for Reliance, we understand Reliance, but if you go on any trading platform, you would see RIL. So like that, there would be different symbol for the company, which once you are very much there in the game. I mean, it is like you have to get used to all these names. So once you are logging into your app, or you are trading on a daily basis, or even if you're not trading, you are logging in and you're watching things, you would understand that okay, so an IDBI bank is called IDBI. What are the different names or symbols through which they are listed. I mean, on the mobile apps and everything. The stock price, high, low, what was the high, it has reached till now, for the day. The low point in terms of price, what is the previous day closing price, what is the stock's 52-week high, 52-week low. All these details, these details helps you with the volumes, that how good or bad would be your decision while taking a decision to trade in those companies. So there are there are few categories, few codes of type of orders which we need to understand, which you would be able to see in the mobile app or the browser. You would be seeing that there is something called MIS. MIS is, as you can see on the screen, it is margin intraday squared off. So intraday is something which you have to buy, and sell. Both the things should happen on the same day. That is intraday. Delivery is something which you are buying something today, but you are selling that thing on any day, but not today. That is cash and carry. And NRML is for F&O trading. So that is again very risky, and the kind of exposure it requires in terms of margin, that is very high, and it comes with its own risk also. So while placing intraday trades, you need to be careful of the margin, and if you are selecting intraday, of course it would come at a leverage. I mean, with 10 rupee, your broker might allow you to trade for take a position of 20 rupee, and at the end of the day, most of the systems, they square up the position irrespective of the factor that whether it is in profit or loss. If you have not done it on your own, your system would do it at maybe some time between 3 to 3:20, depending on the time which that broker has set while creating that app for his company. So, but then you still have a time. Suppose if you have taken a trade at 9:30 in the morning, you still have a time till 3 p.m. or maybe 2:50 p.m. You have to check with your broker, and if you have not squared up your position or you cut the position, then the system would automatically square up at the end of the day, because it is by the nature intraday trade comes with a higher leverage. So that is the logic for that. For cash and carry, the name says cash and carry. you have 5 lakhs, you buy something for 5 lakhs, you go home. That becomes a delivery trade, and this is something which I would always suggest to a prudent investor, which if I can take the liberty of time to explain the difference between a trader and an investor, because most of the in most of the webinar I have seen that people with NSDL webinar, most of you are new to the market, so that is the reason I try to be very basic. I try to speak in a very lucid and basic things which should help you to understand. So once you are new in the market, you should avoid intraday trades and future end option. If you do not understand cash and carry, you have to be method oriented. Do your analysis, buy certain stock. Whenever you feel that okay, now you have earned 5%, 10% in that stock, you can sell it off and you can enjoy your profits. F&O, it's a tricky thing. For someone new in the market, you'd get to see that a lot of people would talk about future end option. Yes, it is it comes with a leverage. It is highly leveraged. It can reward you very well on any given day. It can rob you on any given day if you do not understand. So my humble request, humble submission, that before trading in intraday or F&O or leveraged segment, we need to be sure what kind of trade we are taking, right? So please keep this in mind before trading in those segments. Now again, type of orders, limit, market, and stop loss. So limit is something which suppose Reliance is trading at 2000, but you predict, somehow you feel that okay, 2000 is not a good level. Let me set 1950 as a level. So whenever the price comes to 1950, the system would automatically buy. So that is called as limit. Market is irrespective of the price you want to buy then and there only. So even if a Reliance is trading at suppose 1910, and if you have placed on buy, so whatever price, 1910, 1911, whatever the price prevailing at that point in time, it would buy. Stop loss, like suppose if you have bought something and you're waiting for to book the profit, but somehow the market has reversed, so you have to decide. The system prompts you that what kind of stop loss you have to apply, and even if certain systems they do not send you a prompter, it is always prudent to set a stop loss. So suppose if you have bought a Reliance for 2000, and you were waiting for 2100 to come, but then suddenly something happened in the market and it is coming down only. So it is always better to have a stop loss that okay, 1980, 1970 or 1950 or whatever rate you feel, you put it as stop loss, that whenever it would breach that rate, at least your position is cut, and so that you can limit your losses. So these are the products. So this would be a sample screen, how you can select limit or market. Quantity you have to select, which I was discussing some time back. Price, then validity, all these details you have to, it would be coming as an option, so you have to choose, and then you have to place the order. So there is something called order book. What happens if I have to buy a Reliance, and if I have not bought by the market rate, and I have given the instruction, I have inputted in the system that okay, when the 1950 comes, then you trade. So till the time that rate comes, your this thing would be in order book. Your order would be not executed, but it would be pending. So all the orders which are not executed, it would be there in the order books, and till the time it gets executed, you can keep on modifying. So suppose if you at the time of placing that order, the rate was 2000 and you expected it to come to 1950, and it came to 1960 immediately, then you would suddenly realize that okay, it might come down to 1940 also. So you can edit, or the other way around also. You are seeing that it is not coming down, but you have to buy Reliance due to some reason. So you can again modify either ways, lower or higher rate. Yes, once the order is executed, of course, it has been executed, so you would not be able to do anything with that. So you can only, sell it to book profit or book losses. So what happens if for entire day that 1950 does not come? At end of the day, the order gets nullified. So by the time the market ends, you would see that it would be rejected after the market has closed. If the order had been executed, it would be coming as completed. If you wanted to buy something, the system got that rate and order had been executed, so it would be coming as completed. So that is how it works. And your order, if you go to your order book, your entire order thing, history of orders would be there for your perusal. The second thing is a trade book. So all the orders which have been traded, they would be visible there. Now, these are the basic things. I can see some questions, but I would be able to take it up at the end of the event. So you all can continue to park your questions in the chat box. We would be able to take by the time, once we finish this. So, see, we all understand the precautions while being online. So we have to be very sure of the password. It has to be complicated. We, you should not share the password with anyone. I'm sure we all understand this. Do not share your OTPs, no password. Do not write it down. We have seen enough of digital thing in last 1.5 years that we understand all of this. So, but yes, bottom line, we have to be very careful. Now, cyber cafe, I do not know whether they exist also or no. Most of us, we have everything have become on mobile, but then mobiles can also be hacked. It can also be there can be phishing softwares and all. A lot of things comes on WhatsApp and all. We are aware of the way virus can come, so we have to be very sure the way we want to be protected. If you are trading on your PC, I'm sure you have virus protection, which is always updated. Never, if you are getting a call from, unknown numbers, that, sir, I'm calling somebody from Indore or somewhere would call, sir, I'm calling from this advisory company. We feel that you should take this stock. All those are scams. Never fall for them. We need to be, when it comes to investment, I'll take, only one name, that we need to follow the Rahul Dravid or maybe a Sachin Tendulkar kind of method. You need to be solid while, taking a decision. We need to be very logical. We need to be very strong in your thought process. If I can again, if I can take this liberty, I mean, if you are just acting on any of your friend or any of the SMS coming to you or any of the unknown call comes to you, any Tom, Dick and Harry saying that, you buy this and my words, it will give you good returns. Boss, life does not work that way. Everybody is interested to make money at somebody else's cost. That is the truth of life. What decision I make, since it is my money, I have to decide. I have to be very ruthless. I have to be very method oriented while taking my investment decision. Yeah. These are very basics that, after trading, you have to log out, clear the cache in your web browser and all. But now the mobile apps are there, which are very much tagged to, your IMEI of mobile. So these things are very much there. One thing, yes, nothing in life is for free. Things which comes for free, or which they claim that okay, this is for free, they are the most expensive free thing in the world, in the universe. Never access them. Never access something which is free. I mean, how can a business thrive if they are giving you for free? I mean, that is my most logical question, and most, we have to think like that. If somebody is offering me, I mean, a free Wi-Fi at the airport, malls, of course, they once you connect to them, they have access of your device, and these are not secured networks. So you have to be careful. Also, you have to be very careful of of your trading member. I mean, your stock broker, and that is where a renowned and good broker would always have that secured portal. And secured portal would be like HTTPS, and then the next thing should be there. And if this S is not there, that means that broker is not using a secured connection, or it is not. And then if it is not secured, it is not secured, right? So that way we have to take care of things. Like with IDBI Capital, what I do, like I was sharing previously, that the moment you are trading, suppose offline with a dealer in an assisted manner. So if you have called me and you have instructed me, Shiv, if I'm your dealer, that okay, Shiv, buy 500 of Reliance at this rate. The moment I click submit, immediately the order would get executed, all right, but I'll get an SMS as a client that okay, Shiv has put this is order in your account. If you have not instructed him to do it, call on this number. And that is how we try to protect our clients, so that the error trades or fraud things does not happen. You can also check with your brokers, but the onus is always with us. We have to continuously monitor my order book, the trade book. End of the day, you would receive your contract note on your email, or maybe your they would be sending you through the mail, what do you call that, courier. You need to tally, but most of the brokers and most of the clients now, things have changed a lot. You would get it online on the same day, so you can check whatever you have traded during the day and whether it is matching with the contract note or no. If not on a daily basis, at least on weekends you should check. Why we should check? Because it's my money, my responsibility. So these are the things which we need to check. Now the post trade confirmation by stock exchange, these are the things which we have already discussed, by the way, but at the cost of repetition, I'll like to reiterate yet again. End of the day, the exchange sends email and SMS both, with the trade, entire trade which had been executed in your account. Whenever you will trade, you will get an SMS after market hours. So the format is there on your screen for you to see. This is the format for SMS. Likewise, this is the format for email, which they also send. So it comes on a daily basis. You can very well tally whatever you have traded. So these are the things which protects you from being to understand whether things are on the track. Nobody is having access to your account. No action has happened in your account without your knowledge. So now the trade check or verification on stock exchange websites, this you can also do. The last 10 days data would be on the NSC portal. So if you have traded today, it would be available tomorrow. So you can go and check your trades there also. This is just a way, but contract note and all things are anyways there. So that is, I mean, there are various modes, and they all serve the same purpose. So if you want to understand how to check your trades on the NSC portal, then you have to go on their portal. You have to see at the top, the link which is given. You have to go on that page. you have to log in, or if you are a first time user, you have to sign up, then you have to log in. You have to give your UCC to for them, for the system to identify, NSC system to identify that, okay, for Shiv 1234 is the UCC, and then if you have traded today, tomorrow you can go and verify your trades. BSC also, it would be there. You can T+1 day you can go and check your trades. So this is for the other MSC, for commodities and all, currency and all. You can go and check. Now I was sharing that contract note is an important document which we should all check. What is a contract note? It is record of my transaction. It is in the bank account you get a bank statement, in a trading account you get a contract note. Bank statement tells you what you have, what all transactions you have done. Contract note tells you what all trading you have done. If there is any discrepancy, you have to get in touch with your broker again. If there is a discrepancy, still broker is not agreeing to your discrepancy, you can go and complain to NSC and NSDL. So anyways, Marlon will be sharing all those details, and he has already shared, but at the I'll request him to share again post this presentation. So all the details like date, time, price, quantity, trade ID, various charges, brokerage, everything would be there in the contract note. You can very well opt for a physical contract note, but then I'll suggest you not to opt for that physical mode, because we need to take care of our climate also. So and e-contract note, which comes on your email, that helps us to maintain the climate. So I'll urge each of you to start using digital contract notes. It has all the details. It has your client code, it has your PAN number, the trade date, order numbers, whatever details you need to have. Every detail would be there in contract note. What is the what was the quantity, at what rate you bought, what rate you sold, ISIN, whether it is if it is a delivery derivatives trade, whether it was a forward position, and the trade time, all the details would be there. So if there is any discrepancy, you have to bring it to your broker's notice, and if still they are not agreeing, if you both do not agree, then you have to raise it to the exchanges, or maybe SEBI or NSDL. So this is how a contract note typically looks like. So it's better for you to have a look. It has all the details. What else you want. It has all the details of your trade. So I'll take a pause for 10-15 seconds so that you can just go through what all the details, and then I'll proceed. Yeah. So this is the second page of the contract note. So again, I'll take a pause of 5 minutes. 5 seconds, sorry. So this is the contract note which we have been discussing in detail. Now, how to your broker, if you are trading something, suppose your account is with IDBI Capital, and you have to buy something. So how do you buy? Of course, it requires money. So till the time I have being a broker, I don't have money from you. I cannot buy anything in your account. Cash dealing is not possible. It was never possible, and even if it, we should avoid all the time. Previously, in the undigitalized era, you could have given a check, and basis that, if you had a good relationship with your broker, they could have bought immediately. But now things have evolved. The money gets transferred in some seconds. You can transfer your money from your linked bank account, and the money comes immediately to your trading ledger, and immediately you can pay into your trading account. Now, while payout, if you have sold something today, you will get your money in T plus 2 days in your trading ledger. And like what we do, we send it back to your bank account. There are few brokers who do it. There are few brokers who do not do. So we have chosen to directly transfer the money to your bank account. So, but it is only after you have sold something today in cash segment, and you'll get your money in T plus 2 days. So yeah, the same thing I was saying. For stocks on T plus 2 days, if you are traded in derivatives, so T plus 1 day, while payout, and for pay-in, it has to be there at that point in time, because if you want to buy something, the money has to be there in your account. Your account has to be funded, so that you can trade or you can buy something. So now there would be few brokers who would give you some benefit, like they would charge some interest from you, and they can allow you to buy even if you don't don't give entire money. They would charge you some interest, but if you are delaying the payment, you have to pay delay payment charges also. But these are the things which we should always avoid, because in the market you are going to earn money. You are not going to give money to your broker due to all this. This would again reduce your profit, if at all any. So this is something which we need to avoid. Now, auction of security in case of default, when you do not investor does not deliver securities by paying time on the settlement day, so it would be auctioned, and the clearing corporation conducts a auction on the settlement day, which is T plus 2 day, after completion of payout through the exchange trading system. So this is something which we need to understand. We need to be careful. We have already discussed this. Payout happens on T plus 2 basis. So you have sold something, T plus 2 basis pay, you will get money in your account. And now this running account authorization, now this is the reason the brokers make this call. So what we have done is, if you have sold something, automatically we give in T plus 2 days. And if you have not opted for running account authorization, then your money would be there in your trading ledger, and there is a quarterly payout every as per the instruction. I think it's 90 days in which mandatorily your trading ledger would be debited, and the money would be transferred to your bank. So that's how this works. Now, if you have bought something on delivery, we have already discussed that it will come on T plus 2 days. Now, there is something called stockbrokers pool account. Now, that is something which we need to be very careful. If you have bought something, automatically in your Dmat account, it should be there in T plus 2 days. If it is not there, you need to immediately raise a flag to your broker that why it is not there. It means that it has gone to the broker's pool account, which is not your Dmat account. So that is something which you need to be careful all the time. And because if it is in the pool account of a broker, he can do a lot of things which is not what we are. I mean, a lot of frauds can happen. One of the brokers' license got closed due to something on this. So after T plus 2 days, you need to you need to go to your Dmat account and see whether your shares are there or not. Few things we have to be very careful, like we have to ensure that the extension of obligation like pay-in, margin, and all of that, the calculations, everything we need to understand is available in your trading account. Investors should transfer funds to the stockbroker for obligation only. The documents are received in the name of stockbroker only. Investors should ask stockbroker for quarterly or monthly statement of both funds and securities from the trading member. You have to check your ledger account periodically. In case of any entry where you are not very comfortable, we have discussed it again, that you have to raise it to your stockbroker or exchange or SEBI immediately. So, in nutshell, if things are not matching up, you have to raise a flag and you have to report. If we are a vigilant investor, things would not go to this level, and none of the issue would come. Only if we are a vigilant investor, it is my money, so I have to be careful. I keep on reiterating this thing again and again. Now, so what I was saying previously, that if you have sold something, then in IDBI Capital's case, we transfer the money to your bank. But now, if there is a broker with whom you are dealing, and if he's not doing that, and if he's keeping your money in his trading account, so what happens? You lose on your interest income. That is a loss to you. Anyways, your money is not with you, so you can understand the risk. So these are the things which we should avoid, because why should my money remain idle? Not to provide checks in the name of any authorized person or third party. We need to be careful. Please sign blank checks and DIS slip. So DIS slip is what a checkbook is for. For a Dmat account or a bank account for that matter. You should not give it to a stockbroker or anybody for that matter. Blank checks. Some of the old school broker might demand. I don't know whether they still demand or no, because times have evolved. We have come a long way out of what these practices used to be there about 10, 15, 20 years back. So if still it is there, we should avoid it. We should never give all this. Now, payment of margin. There could be two things. If I'm buying, say, 100 Reliance, I have two options. I'll go with 100 Reliance into 2000 if that is the rate. So 2000 into 100, I pay entire amount. After T plus 2 days, the entire thing comes to my account. I paid my brokerage, no strings attached. So all the slates are clean. Now, there's something called margin or pay only a percentage of its price. That is, there's a margin requirement which changes on a daily basis, and which you can see on a stockbroker's website. While placing the trade, you have to pay the margin amount to the stockbroker to maintain the margin amount in the linked bank account. You may pledge your existing holding which you have in your Dmat account to get that much of margin released, which can be used to trade. But this is something which I would not suggest a lot. I'm not a very strong advocate, but that can be my personal this thing. If I have to buy something, I'll go with cash and I'll carry it. I mean, why to pay something out of my return to that? Always dilutes my entire purpose. So that is how it you should think. Now, what is early pay-in? Payment of funds or deliver shares in case of buy or sell to the exchange by paying time on settlement date. So, early paying, choice of paying funds, delivering shares before this designated time. Exemption upon early paying funds, no margin needs to be paid. So, you have to take confirmation from the bank. Exemption from early paying of securities, no margin needs to be paid. and stockbrokers to provide early paying details to the stock exchange in a specified format. So yeah. Now, there is a concept of haircut. This is a percentage by which market value of percentage your pledged shares is reduced for the purpose of calculating the collateral value. Now, suppose you have some stock, suppose for example, Reliance in your holding, and you have, you want to take a position. So the haircut percentage for that stock, suppose, is 20%. So the, collateral value would become 8 lakhs. So you can, for some trade, you can take that much of leverage, I mean the margin, and you can trade. So I believe I've been able to make this understand as simple as this. The example for that matter, it is there. You can go through. If you have, suppose, 10 lakhs share, they would give you a limit of 8 lakhs so that you can trade in some other share for intraday or that purpose. And this the list changes every day. The percentage also changes every day for every stock. So we need to be vigilant on that front. Now, the margin calculator, we can check, how to calculate the margins and all, because this is something which these days are very dynamic. These are the links on different exchange, in the NSE and BSE. You can go and check, how to calculate the margins, and that would help you to ascertain how to decide. But mostly for a new investor, I would try to make things very simple. This is, of course, with my assumption that you all are new investors. There we need to be with cash, and you hold it. And because there are a lot of learning which comes at a cost. That learning cost should not come at the beginning of your trading or investing career. So you need to understand, market is something which we all are there since decades, but we still get surprised. Even not even Warren Buffett can tell you that I understand the market completely. So we need to be really persistent. We need to be deeply grounded for the methods which we apply. We need to be sure that we do not rely on hearsay. We need to build our portfolio. Trading in certain segments like future and options, until unless I have a very solid understanding, should not dive into it. And we need to do a lot of research. We need to ensure that we study a lot of balance sheets we need to read. So all of this, these things, they help us as an investor to stay protected. See, gone are the days when when we were kids, we used to hear the story that there was a guy who used to buy an Infosys every month, one share, and then he became so big. Yes, we have seen all those days. Now things are very dynamic. Things change. They are changing very fast. So we have to be on our toes while taking a decision, and then we have to evaluate the performance of our portfolio on a daily basis, or maybe at least on a weekly basis, if not this thing. At the same time, there is something called there is a culture in India that if you feel that you are having fever, you'd go to a medicine shop, and you will demand for a tablet because you do not want to go and see a doctor. But then fever can come due to any reason. These days, of course, you know what I'm talking about. But then it is good to be consulting a doctor all the time. In this case, your broker would have research team. They are quite learned people. It is their job to analyze the market and the different stocks, different shares. Days in and nights out. It is their responsibility, their job. And once you speak to them, they would be with all the details. They would be able to guide you. Rather than becoming an unguided missile, we need to be always, keep ourselves protected. So, with that, I would end my presentation and thoughts. Now we can look into questions, Carolyn.
Thank you, sir. Let's move on to the question answer session.
Oh, so a lot of questions have come already.
Yeah. So, if you don't mind, can you take number on the questions?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Can you take the questions which are mentioned in the chat box?
Yeah, I can. I'll read them one by one, and then I'll do. So a lot of messages are there that too much equal.
Yeah, there are some network issues. Okay.
This pledge and margin, I think NSDL has a different, presentation for this. Different.
So on 21st May, so on 21st May, we have a webinar on stamp duty and margin pledge. So persons who are interested in attending this webinar, so request you to join me by registering for this webinar. The details are mentioned. I mentioned the link for registration. You can go ahead and on my India website, you can register for the same.
Now there is a question that will the order automatically get rejected? Carolyn, आपकी तरफ से थोड़ी सी ना disturbance है, तो एक बार unmute.
Okay.
Yeah. So there is a question that will the order automatically get rejected if we do not have sufficient margin with the broker? Does the margin have to be in cash, or we can pledge share of the margin? The answer to the first question is yes. If it would get rejected if I do not have margin with the broker. Now, does the margin have to be in cash, or we can pledge a share for margin? It is very much you are right. If it is not in cash, or if suppose you want to take a position of 1 lakh, and if you are having shares which after pledging, if they give you limit of 1 lakh, so it can be done. Yeah. Now, what is leverage? Leverage is something which it typically allows you to trade at higher volume with a lower margin, but typically it is done in intraday and future end option segment. If you are having say 1 rupee, you can take a position of 2 rupee. But if you if you do not book your profit or loss by 3 p.m., then the system would cut your position. So that is how it works. And if you have taken a leveraged position, you also have an option of transferring the money. If you do not want your position to be squared up, you have to transfer the balance money to the broker's account or maybe your trading ledger so that the position can be carried forwarded. So So there's a question that if you're, as per your example, if Reliance reaches a price of 2200, it should automatically get sold off. How can we set it where this option comes in app? Yes, it does come. So, if you have given, this option, if the trade has been executed, see, as I said, there were 2 books, order book and trade book. So if you have, while executing the order, putting the trade, if you have said that, okay, currently Reliance is trading at 2050, and you had given this rate that okay, well, once it comes down to 2000, you buy a certain number of shares. Once the shares are bought, then you can go to trade book and you can set a price of 2200, and once it reaches to 2200, it would sell. But yes, all these works for that particular day. So if you have done all this, you have put it today, if the rates does not reach to that level, the system would cancel it after the market hours. So again, next day, if you still want to, because you have bought in delivery mode, so it would come to your this thing DP account. So next day you can again go and put 2200 price. Till the time it works that way. But we have to keep in mind that if the trade does not get executed, EOD may all the orders these orders would get cancelled. So now I see, how do you access your Dmat account to check delivery of shares? The answer is just below that, so I believe that would have given the answer. Will broker charge a fee if we pledge shares for margin instead of paying cash? See, while pledging, a different broker might have different rules. So I'll better request you to kindly speak to your broker for this thing, whether the broker would charge a fee or not for pledging of shares. So that should help you. Should I take a Dmat account from a bank and a trading account from a broker? Now, this is a very good and a very important question. Had I been at your place, and please do not get me wrong that I work from for a broker which is a bank-based broker, but then in my 22 years career I have worked with non-bank brokers also. But yes, my investment, and because I cannot trade, so my investment account is with a bank-based broker, and that is my personal belief that the audit mechanism, the controls, and the checks and balances are very stringent with a bank-based broker. So yes, I would prefer that, but it is a choice which you have to make. So there's a question that I invested 10,000 in SBI Magnum tax gain through SBI in 2010. I have no Dmat account. How can I know about it today? So there is something called Speedy or something. Some mail comes from NSDL. If you are an active trader or investor, it would come to you every month. I think Carolyn would confirm. If not, then at least once you get in 6 months. So, but I think you need to had you updated your PAN card while buying that mutual fund? That is something which would be important to understand this. But yes, you can go to your SBI AMC office. You can get in touch with them, and you can take the details. So that is not very difficult. How much tax is to be maintained to make arrangement of cash, excess of cash to purchase share? Excess of margin. I'm not able to understand this question actually. So if you can write again, by that time I'll take next question. Please tell something about brokerage percentage. So brokerage percentage is like, you are buying something of the value is 1 lakh, and your broker charges something basis some percentage that okay, for every 100 rupee I'll charge say a 20 paisa 100 on every 100 rupee. So that becomes your brokerage. So while opening your account with your broker, you need to discuss that what are the brokerage which a broker would charge you, or even if your account is there with any broking house, you can get in touch with them. You can take details from them, and that can be changed. It's very simple. But yes, different broking house can charge you differently. If you have to take it up with them, and I'm sure they would be able to give you a good deal. Can a foreigner open Dmat account in India? I think Carolyn would be able to answer it. If Dmat account has 3 holders A, B, C, if B expires, how RIL partly paid share can be applied? I'm not able to understand this question. I'm sorry. How much time one will have to make arrangement of cash offer and above then margin to purchase share? So the faster you do, the better it is for you, because otherwise your broker would charge some interest kind of thing. So the sooner we do, the better it is. Can we deal with more than one broker? Yes, absolutely yes, because it is like a trading account you can have in multiple. A Dmat account you can have multiple. You can trade with anybody, which wherever you want to. No restrictions there. Can application of right shares be made through broker instead of us? I am not very sure of this. I need to come back until unless Carolyn is aware of this thing. Now the last question is, please explain the margin calculator and each parameter reads. Okay. So with that, with this question, are you asking about the haircut wala thing in margin calculator? Okay. So I'll answer this. So what happens if you are having a share, suppose Reliance, the value is 10 lakh. If you pledge it, or if you want to, after pledging, you want to get some margin to your account. So there would be a rate. That rate varies every day. With different share also it varies. So suppose if it is a Reliance, and we are just taking this as an example, there the haircut is 20%. So you again, after pledging the shares of Reliance, you would get a value of 8 lakhs to buy some other share for intraday trading. So that is what it means. But then that is something which at that time also I suggested not to be it's better to avoid it, because paying too much of interest defeats the entire purpose, because you have invested into Reliance to make money, and you are actually spending on interest which you are paying to the broker. So that is something which is best avoided. Now this which exchange can be chosen for trading, either BSE or NSE, that is entirely your choice, sir. Your broker would be offering both. But yes, most of the volume is on NSE these days. So, but the choice is yours. Will the broker automatically let us know post the haircut value of placed shares each day? Yes, it is there on their portal, and someday some of the brokers, they don't have it, so you need to get in touch with them, and they can tell you. But these are the things which dynamic. It changes every day. With every share it changes. Any limit on the profit that can be extract from trading account? No, there is no limit to the profit which you can get from your trading account. The logic remains same, that like your bank account, you can put n number of money in your bank account. So in your trading account also, you keep on doing trading and churning. The volume quantum does not matter. So there is nothing, there is no logic or no thing called that, with one account, with some, limit is there. Nothing like that is there. So I think we have taken all the questions. Carolyn, you can.
Yes, sir. We have taken all the questions. Just to talk about, they were talking about the statement, consolidated account statement. So basically, one question was, where can I see my old shares or mutual fund shares, I guess, mutual funds which are not being held in Dmat. So NSDL provides this consolidated account statement. If you are trading regularly, you will get this statement, CAS, on a monthly basis, either from NSDL or CDSL, with whomever you have opened the Dmat account first. In case if you are not trading regularly, you will get the statement on a 6 monthly basis. So that's not twice in a year.
There was a request from Ms. Gitanjali to ask a question. So Gitanjali, please go ahead. That would be the last question. Please go ahead. Okay, I think we have either lost her or there is no question. I'm not sure. Any which way, so if you have still any query, you can. No, you have to type it there, or if I don't know whether you can be unmuted or not, but if you have a question, you have to type it here, Gitanjali.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, Gitanjali, I think you have been unmuted now, so no.
Yeah. Actually, the wrong name has been put on that this thing. My name is Sachin Sultane. Very good evening to all of you. Actually, I had one question that I have a Dmat account having 3 holders, A, B, C. Okay. And now the B has expired. Now in that I have Reliance partly paid up shares standing in our names. Now the notice has come to us for the application of the first call money. So how I have to make the payment for this partly Reliance paid up share?
Okay, so I think Carolyn, you'll have to take this up. Carolyn, if you are there, you have to answer this, please.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello.
For this, actually, I'll have to get back because I'm not really sure about this thing. I'll have to get back on that. Maybe you can, what I do, I'll post one ID. You can just mention the clarifications or your questions on this ID, and we'll get back to you on this.
Okay, I contacted the bank for the ASPA process. The form I had downloaded from the email which the company has sent to me, and they have told me to attach the death certificate with that and give the form in the bank. So, is this a correct procedure or any other procedure?
No, I'll just request you to do mention that details in the email ID that I'll be mentioning in the chat box. We'll get back to you on this.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
So I think we have taken all the questions. I would like to thank each of you to have come and given us an opportunity to, discuss all this with you. Just a humble request that stay safe, take care of yourself and your families, and God bless you all. And have a very safe and happy weekend to all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Shiv sir, for coming and joining with us and giving a brief topic on this session on how to buy and sell shares in stock exchange. I hope to see you in many more sessions as well. And participants, request you to please, give your feedback at the link that has been mentioned. I'll just repost that link And any topic that you would like to cover us in our future session, please do mention that in the feedback link as well. Thank you so much, sir, once again. And thank you, participants, for joining for today's session. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Please take care. Thank you.